What's going on, guys? So, today, the topic of what we're going to be talking about is Dragon Ball. And here's the thing here, right? Dragon Ball is not for kids. Now, hear me out. When I say Dragon Ball is not for kids, would you really necessarily say that anime in general is for kids, right? I think we can all agree that a huge percentage of people that watch anime are probably teenagers to adults, right? Between the ages of probably 16 to 25 and up. Now, growing up, things were different. I come from the era of Toonami, right? I come from the era of Toonami where, a lot of kids would stumble across anime from watching Cartoon Network late at night. And anime usually streamed back when Family Guy, American Dad, Robot Chicken, and all the adult shows were playing. That's usually when they streamed anime back then. So you can argue that that's why they were able to, run anime in America, is because they put it under an adult time zone, right? And this is very important here. This is what I'm about to say is very important. So, Dragon Ball Z was in that adult American time zone. Dragon Ball Super was placed in a morning time zone slot that was meant for kids to watch the show. Now, I'm not going to get into why that was even a decision that was made, but we can assume that it's because Dragon Ball is so popular now that it's exceeded beyond more than just an anime. It's a brand now, so they have to treat this brand very, very walk on eggshells and take care of this brand, right? But here's the thing. Why are we compromising the potential of Dragon Ball by doing this? You see, when you alienate a certain age group, you're not helping either way. You see, Toei Animation seems to think that by making it more child-friendly, by making Dragon Ball more child-friendly, it will make more revenue, more money will be, they will make more money, they'll be able to sell more toys and merchandise, which you may think that's a smart idea, but it's really not. It's actually moronic, because what you're doing is you're isolating the fan base that grew up with Dragon Ball for the past 25 years, and you're trying to cater to a newer fan base that had just started watching Dragon Ball within the last 10 to 12 years. And I wouldn't even say 12 years. I'd say 8 to 10 years. So either way, you're alienating and you're isolating your fan base. If you go the adult route, now you're kind of isolating the kids. And if you go the child-friendly route, now you're isolating the adults. The way that we can solve this is just by treating Dragon Ball like every other anime. You see, kids will always find a way to watch things they're not supposed to watch. And honestly, anime is one of those things that always slides under the radar. You have kids that watch Jujutsu Kaisen, Tokyo Ghoul, anime shows that have lots of blood and mature themes, right? And I think that Toei Animation and just animation studios in general need to stop worrying and focusing so much on trying to censor things. I think that it should be up to the parents on whether they're watching their kids, to censor and to monitor their children. I think that because of this, it has caused Dragon Ball to not live up to its full potential, right? As you can see here in the photo that I used, you can see a graphic image of Goku Black with blood all over his face. Some people may say, you're just trying to be edgy, it's too edgy, it's no need for it, it's a child show, blah, 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 all this shit. But at the end of the day, if you're familiar with anime at all, you know that in Japan, anime is not a cartoon. It's not like American cartoons. Trying to fit a square into a circular peg, or trying to fit a circle in a square peg, it just doesn't mix well. You can't fit it there. You can't try to make a Japanese anime into a cartoon. And this is why I think that when Dragon Ball does return, they should definitely have blood. It should definitely be more mature, for a more mature audience. I really do believe that it should be for a mature audience. The fact that they're trying to make it more child friendly, I think just basically it very much waters down the quality and makes it not as good as it used to be. And that's my honest opinion on it. I think that there are a lot of moments where, we were supposed to get a lot of blood in Dragon Ball, but we didn't, and they cut back a lot on that. And Akira Toriyama himself said that he does not mind it. So it wasn't really Akira who cut down on the blood. If you read the manga for Dragon Ball Super, you can see that there is actually a lot of blood in that, especially in the Tournament of Power and the Moro arcs. There's a lot of blood. And, I just blame it on Toei Animation, and I blame it on Japan for trying to fit, the schedule of Dragon Ball into a Saturday morning cartoon time slot. I just think that, it's an anime and it should be treated like in Japanese anime. If you don't fit Japanese anime into the morning cartoon time slots, then why are we trying to fit Dragon Ball into a Saturday morning cartoon time slot? I think, overall, if Dragon Ball were to return and they actually made Dragon Ball for a mature audience and they included more blood and maybe wasn't so afraid of trying to, break certain boundaries, then I think that it would be better as a whole. I think that Dragon Ball would make more money. I think that more fans would be involved. They'd have more support. I think that they would make way more money. I said that already. I think overall it would just amplify and be better for them. Even though they're making money already by milking it and making all these fucking poor decisions, in my honest opinion. It just seems like they're not favoring the fans. And they haven't been favoring the fans for a long time. I think that now people are hyped and excited, but I'm still vigilant. I'm still waiting and watching to see what they're going to do because I really don't have that much faith anymore in Toei. Daima was good, but in a lot of ways, Daima left people feeling kind of, bland in the end. And that's because they didn't explain much. They didn't change much of anything except for the animation and the way that they animated the show. I think the animation was a huge improvement, but in terms of just like storytelling and, getting it right with the dialogue and just the storytelling, I don't know. But anyways, guys, this is my opinion. This is what I think. I think that Dragon Ball definitely needs to step it up when it comes to having a more mature tone. And the thing is, what I'm saying here is nothing new, right? Z and Dragon Ball, the original Dragon Ball and Z were definitely not curated for children. I'll just say that much. This is nothing new here. Z definitely broke the boundaries. Dragon Ball itself, the original show, broke the boundaries of that, when it came to Bulma and Goku having, nude scenes and things like that. It was never for kids. Anime is anime, and it was never curated for kids. It was never a child Saturday morning cartoon. And I think America knows that. Like, when it came to the American audience, that's exactly why it was on Adult Swim for a reason. You may think it's just a cartoon, but it was on Adult Swim for a reason. And because of this, they were able to capture the anime, the essence of Dragon Ball, in its full glory at 100% capacity, at its 100% potential, because they slid it into an adult time slot on Adult Swim. And that was at 10:30 to 11 o'clock p.m. On Cartoon Network. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know about this. Maybe I'm just old. Maybe I'm a fucking unk, as y'all like to fucking say, right? Even though I'm in my 20s, you guys seem to think that being in your 20s is like you're old or something like that. But maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just fucking blinded by nostalgia, like a lot of people in this community like to say. I personally don't think so. I think that what I'm saying makes total sense. And I just really feel like I don't want to even say sometimes that Dragon Ball is my number one favorite anime, because when I think back to what I even like about the show, I'm always thinking of Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z. And that's just because I feel like they didn't leave any stones unturned with Z. It was, in my eyes, Z is flawless. And I just think that's the honest truth. That's my opinion. You can disagree with it if you want to, but That's what I think. And let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think? Should Dragon Ball have more blood? Should it be, aimed at more of a mature audience? Or do you think that it should just be curated to children? Because I personally don't believe so. I think that instead of treating it like Pokemon or Beyblade, we need to start treating Dragon Ball like an actual shonen that runs in Japan, like every other anime. Because honestly, it's just stifling its potential at this point. So anyways, guys, that's it for today. I'm out.